Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders Supply, and this video is to bring you a closer look at the Dorbin number 23AP. This is a mill aluminum bristle type door sweep or astragal. We use it more commonly as astragal material than door sweeps, and that insert falling out is typical, and I'll explain that in a moment. This is just a 6-inch sample piece, and that does slide in and out like that. A final installation or a final product would feature a small crimp at the end that would eliminate it from sliding out improperly. This just, if I were to crimp that, it would not be moving at all. So the 23 is represented by this profile. It literally means that you've got an aluminum holder of this size and a nylon bristle of this type and shape and length. This is also available from Dorbin as a 23DP, which is their dark bronze anodized. Forgive me, they call it dark brown. It's not an anodized process, but it is very complementary. This is also available in a 23GP. It's gold, a gold finish on aluminum base material, and it is available in those three finishes. There is an image below this video showing the important dimensional details, well, part of it. It shows you that the overall height is 1 3/8, and that indeed is the case. You can see from the tape measure here that the height of the holder is 3/4 inch, and that means that you're going to have 5/8 of an inch of bristle length alone. Okay, thickness of the extrusion, 1/4 inch, maybe 5/16, very typical and common. This is going to be used, like I said earlier, as door sweeps, and the length of this bristle is very common for door sweep sort of work in aluminum storefronts and hollow metal doors as well. You've got 5/8, so if you've got a typical 3/4 inch undercut on a hollow metal door, 1/2 inch threshold, this is ideal. 1/4 inch threshold, this is good too, real good. This is, while it's not the shortest version of a bristle type, when they get shorter than this, it becomes pile, very soft. This nylon brush is excellent for use as a door sweep. It's at least as excellent for use as an astragal. Where would you use this? A pair of hollow metal doors, put one on each. The, sort of kind of concept is that all those bristles are going to finger over each other, but of course cover everything. Now, nylon brush or nylon bristle is, in certain regards, superior to everything else. Here's a typical sort of application where it is superior. A very irregular surface. You might have a door that has nothing other than a slab of concrete outside because, well, whatever the case is, you may not have had enough room after the frame has been installed in the block wall. The concrete is poured. Well, now you've got room for the door, but nothing else. No room for a threshold because it's just wrong. The construction is wrong, but nonetheless, that's what you're dealing with. You've got an irregular surface, may not be very level, might be sloped or bellied up or down. Now, a bristle sweep is excellent because it will contour itself to that. Or if you have a fluted top threshold, bristle sweep is great because it will get over all of that small little flute sort of detail and nest itself everywhere. Astragal, it's obvious why you would want that. Bristles to touch, but not to make it so that the door is no longer closed properly. If you have a fire-rated door, you're going to want to be incredibly sensitive to the fact that the door must still not only close, but latch. It has to latch if it's a fire-rated door, because a requirement of a fire-rated door is two things. It has to be self-closing, and it also has to be self-latching, regardless of it's just a smoke draft control sort of door all the way up to 3 hour. It has to be closing and latching on its own. Restaurant guys, people in the food service industry, they love bristle. Here's why. Well, they're in an industry that's routinely inspected for the obvious reasons. The inspector looks for daylight underneath the door. If he sees daylight, the logic is, and agreeably, if daylight can get through, so can a critter, so can an insect, or something that is not to be coming through there. Restaurant people love this because if my fingers represent an irregular floor surface, look how excellent nylon brush even when I've got them pressed up there all the way to the top of the extrusion, look how excellent nylon brush does to contour itself over this incredibly irregular surface that my fingers are an analogy for. Okay? Nothing else will do that. There is no other material that will handle an irregular surface like a nylon brush. So they like it for that purpose. I have people that will buy the nylon brush that's kicked off at a 30-degree or 45-degree angle, so that when the door closes, the bristle makes an approach like this, seals very well. Same for the door sweep. Obviously, for overhead doors, bristle is very common. There's a variety of different lengths of the bristle that Dorbin can supply to us. Okay, they've got longer ones. You know, this is what would be in shorthand considered the standard bristle. If you want the heavy-duty one, it really means they're a bit thicker because it's a bit longer. That sort of logic, and that's available from Dorbin. Now, this is, again, just a sample piece, so it does not feature any holes at all. Well, those holes that would come on the genuine article would be slotted. They would literally be slotted holes, and that's because you need to be able to tailor that to account for that sill that's not level, or that door frame that's not plumb, or doors that are warped a little bit, and you need to kick it over, or it also needs to help compensate for a misdrilled hole. When you're pre-drilling the screw hole, that drill bit has a tendency to walk a little bit before it pierces into the fiberglass, aluminum, wood, steel, bronze, stainless, brass, whatever you're drilling into. If you've not used a center punch, that drill bit's going to walk a little bit. That slotted hole can make the difference between an ill-fitting door and a properly sealed operating doorway. So if you ordered a custom length, we would give you the first slotted hole the proper distance from the edge and the proper center to center as well. What I'm trying to say is if this was a 4-foot piece and we had a slotted hole about 4 inches from the end, and you cut it down to 42 inch, you're going to eliminate that first hole. Then your other one is way over here. That's the reason for ordering the net length that you might want to encounter. Another reason is that's aluminum. No big deal to cut that, really. That's bristle. That's no problem. Well, the problem is that's steel, and you're not going to want to run that through your 60 tooth per inch, 8-inch diameter cutoff saw. You want to be real cautious of that. You can see evidence that was cut with tin snips or aviation snips or side cutters. You're going to want to do that as well. So also consider the fact that if you ordered it 4 foot, that ought to be crimped so it won't come out. And if you have to cut it down to size, it might be difficult for you to pull that out, snip it, and push back in whatever you need to push back in. So keep all of that in mind. I'm overanalyzing it at this point, but nonetheless giving you all the information. Now, screws will also be included. They're about a number 6 by 1/2 inch panhead sort of screws, so they're very typical. The name Dorbin is synonymous with all things weather stripping related, primarily for commercial installations. They have some stuff that you could certainly use in residential applications, like Curved-in style weather stripping or interlocking weather stripping made of bronze and zinc. But what they also have that is not easy to find is weather stripping in zinc and bronze for wood double-hung windows. They have the rib strips, the head and sill sections, the meeting style material, and then in a variety of sizes for different sash thicknesses. There's a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up the full Dorbin catalog and review all things weather stripping related. If you have any questions on the Dorbin, number 23AP, mill aluminum. There's no finish to it. It's just mill aluminum with a nylon brush, door sweep or astragal, or any other Dorbin product. Please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you very much.